What is going on, guys? I don't know if you can see through the sun. Neighbor's corn is tasseling. It's the first tassels I've seen this year. Really hoping ours holds out a little bit longer and grows some more. But first on today's agenda, we had a bit of a situation yesterday. Let's go take a look. So yesterday, guys were grinding. They get about 60 bales ground, basically fill the pit, and all of a sudden the bearing on the grinder decided it didn't want to be around anymore. It got hot, sent fire up the elevator and into the hay pile, as well, come on buddy, as lighting bales on fire that were right next to it because of all the dust. Here's the remnants still burning. Burnt hay stinks. These things were glowing last night when I came to check. But yeah, so I believe that is remnants of 2 there, 1 there, a couple. So we lost 6, 7 bales. In the grand scheme of things, no big deal. It just sucked. It sucked big time. But our guys responded quickly. Local fire departments responded quickly. Thank you to Wiley and Prowers Rural Fire for the help. It was sketchy. I was in the chopper whenever I heard about it, so we shut down and came over to start helping. Got in loaders. We were doing the math last night. We moved 300 some bales yesterday afternoon in about 3 hours. There's some scattered here. There's a whole bunch piled over on the other side of the manure because I had 2 guys go switch out silage trailers for flatbeds. So we got all the excess bales moved out of the way and then started tearing into the bales around the ground hay pile. So the corn is unprotected right now because it had fire in it. That was actually the first place I think Kenny saw fire, was in the corn because of the way the dust was blowing. Sorry, I had to stop for a minute. My allergies are going nuts from being around all the dirt and smoke yesterday. So I moved the corn while Kenny was tearing bales off this pile. We get everything moved, grab the bucket and start scattering this out to make it as thin as possible. So that way, if there is anything still hot in there, it'll expose itself quickly. If we would have just left the pile alone, it could have been burning inside that pile for days and not even known it, till all of a sudden you hit it. And when you do hit it, oxygen's gonna hit it and it'll flare up like crazy. Seeing how there is nothing on fire in this pile yet, I am hoping we got it all. I don't know how many hundreds of gallons of water got put in that and on some of the bales. But between our nurse trailer, which is 1,000 gallon, and the 2 brush fire trucks from the fire departments, there was a lot of water. Let's go find some breakfast, try and wake up. Gonna need a full strength monster today. And then go see how close we are to being able to bail, because that's first on today's agenda. Hay crew is up and running. So Hector and I are on balers. Blanca's raking about 2 miles that way. I believe Glenn is getting the other rake and bringing it to the field that's in the middle of the subdivision. Good stuff. And as you can hear by the beeper, we're a touch early. But we've got a decent amount to cover. We've got other things to do. This hay is junk because you can see all the grass areas and stuff. There was a lot of pigweeds in it, so it's not like it's dairy quality anyways. So we're just going to try and power through it, get done, and get back to chopping, because that's probably going to be getting dry. What we had to leave yesterday while messing with the fire. Okay, so one thing I truly despise on these red tractors is the hydraulic switches. So underneath that plastic there, I don't want to pull that apart, never mind. That little metal switch goes down, and it's basically a little circuit board there. and a pigtail going back in and plugging in to the entire armrest. One for each of these. For the last, I don't know, 8, 9 years, we've had to replace 1 or 2 of them in each tractor. That one's an 07, this one's an 08. So for 7 or 8 years, we've been replacing those switches because they go bad. Notice this row I'm on is a lot different than that row right there, both in color and size. Yeah, I was bailing along and all of a sudden my header raised up about halfway. So not high enough that you would hear it, because when you raise it all the way up, you can hear the teeth hitting the shield. But just high enough to where I was only getting half the windrow. Awesome stuff. Either way, 1 and 2 are malfunctioning, so now I'm down to hydraulic number 3. If that one goes out, we go to 4, and if that one goes out, well, then we get a jug of gas. Being sarcastic there, obviously. This wraps up 70 acres baled this morning. There's Hectoroo, or Pinchy. No, I'm the only thing to call him Pinchy. You call him Hector, or Bobby. Bobby really makes him mad. But yeah, so 70 acres baled. Blanca's getting close to finishing that 30 acres raking it. Glenn's working on 40 acres over at the subdivision. That'll all get baled tonight. This field, coincidentally enough, I don't even know if that's a word, I think I just made up a word. It hasn't even been on the ground, but for not even 48 hours actually, because this would have been where she started that Wednesday morning. Now here it is Friday morning. 48 hours. It's already baled. That's kind of an insane turnaround, but when the hay is full bloom and drying down before you swath it, and then it's 100 plus degrees with a wind, things dry out quickly. Either way, take balers back to the pickups, head north, go choppy. Okay, well, I'll let the chopper warm up a little bit. Let's play a little catch up on what's going on, because I don't think I've talked to you guys since we started this whole project. As you saw, wheat harvest was abysmal. Because of that, our pile was really small. Our thought process was, well, we've got corn, we've got feed, we're going to be okay. Let's see how the summer goes. Well, as summer has progressed and the drought has worsened, potentially a little relief next week. That would be nice. But our feed is looking pretty bad. Corn is looking pretty bad. It's becoming one of those, well, do we need to find an alternative source for silage? Well, there's this amazing thing called kochia, a weed that is very, very good at surviving drought, to say the least. We're cutting sprinkler corners that haven't been irrigated, and it's making 5, 6, 7 ton to the acre in just volunteer kochia. Got to figure out how to crossbreed kochia and pigweeds with like corn and stuff so we can get that quality crop to grow in a drought. So that's been what's going on. We've cut several hundred acres. As you can see though, I am in Glenn's chopper, which is frustrating because multiple reasons, main one being no tinted windows. But my chopper the other day decided it didn't want to have 2 def pumps anymore, which that's frustrating because if it's the older def pump, it hasn't quite been on 2 years. August would make 2 years for it. If it's the newer def pump, it's barely made it a year. But when that thing decides the def pump is no longer working, you are no longer chopping. McPherson overnighted us one. Do believe it is covered under warranty. I'm gonna argue it damn better be covered under warranty. But our shop is full of projects, so it's just been one of those, well, put it in the shed, grab the other chopper, hope nothing goes wrong with it. So, here's to hope nothing goes wrong with this chopper. Cutting on a neighbor's stuff. We're supposed to do 2 corners. Hector saw 5 that were swathed, decided to merge them all yesterday. So now we got to chop 5 corners. No big deal. It's gonna be about a load per corner. Should have been chopped yesterday, but the fire kind of took precedence when it came to what we were worried about doing. So either way, head over there, get started chopping. Better go get some fuel though. I am way low. yeah, go do some jobbing and go from there. Well, 3.5 loads, not bad, off 4 corners. Fortunately, this truck decided it's a good time for the pump to go out. We cannot catch a break when it comes to trucks this year. Holy crap. So, currently, Cameron's truck, the all-white T600, just had a fresh overhaul this spring. Something didn't get tightened down on the turbo right, because all of a sudden he heard a whistle. Goes and look, turbo's missing one of the nuts, and the gasket behind it's broken, hanging out. So we're trying to get that back into the shop. Now that truck's down and out. Maddie's truck, the truck's fine. The trailer, the rear axle somehow, I don't know if lug nuts came loose or if the trailer got put in a bind somehow, but it broke 2 lug nuts and the wheels got loose, started wobbling, ruined 2 wheels and a hub. So now we got to get a new spinner hub for it. Got to figure out where to even do that to begin with. The truck shop we normally take everything to is backed up with projects, so sounds like we're gonna have to figure out some of these. Oh, and the freight shaker that's normally on the tub grinder, the radiator started leaking on it 2 weeks ago when they were grinding. So it's in the shop, haven't even touched it. Just, we've been spread so thin with farming, they're struggling to get anything done in the shop. Well, it's 1 o'clock. I'm gonna go find something to eat. Come back after lunch and figure out which crisis to work on first. Well, looky there, something else to drive. Well, that's real handy. Good God. Got the truck unloaded. Just pretty sure the pump's getting wore out. Cooling off over lunch. I tried it once gentle, and then Bart told me to rev it up like hell whenever I tried it the second time. It started and walked right off with ease, so Aaron's gonna pick up a gauge for it while he's in town when he gets his water set. We'll put a new gauge on it and see what happens. I'm mostly frustrated about this because I guess I don't get to extend that. Either way, time to pack. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, guys, when you haven't packed a load of silage in probably 5 years, it takes a little while to get back used to it. The pit's still kind of a mess, but we got windrows on the ground again. It's 4:15 on a Friday. We're gonna go get the windrows and we'll figure out that mess later. So, off we go again. Well, not yielding phenomenal. Honestly though, it's about as good as the wheat was. Might actually be better. I already made 1 semi-load off of that. I'm gonna get 2 semis off this field. I think that's as good as the wheat did. But in the end, it just cleans up the farm. Looks good, don't have to do all the tillage. This is a whole lot quicker than just coming in with a mower. So, kind of works out in the end. 2.5 loads off of, just call it 40 acres. What's pathetic is that sounds good. moving on. Oh, as per usual this time of day, now it's time to figure out tomorrow's hay plan. So Hector and I already have 100 acres damn near, no, 70 acres, sorry, raked and ready to go. I'm thinking we can rake that. I'm gonna go check over there because I know there was some kochia. I'm wondering if this can be raked in the morning for baling tomorrow night. I don't know if the camera picks up how tall that cloud is. Somebody over there is having a really good day, and there's some other people having a really bad day. Best of luck, Kansas.